Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to an old school showdown tonight here on the MTA YouTube channel. Be sure if you're new here, crush that subscribe button and stay up to date with everything we got going on. 8 of the best diecast monster trucks go head-to-head old school style on the short version of the MTA course here tonight. Gravedigger, Stomper, King Crunch, no problem. They're all here ready to compete as we jump into round one competition. King Crunch will draw up against No Problem first. Then Buffalo Tremor takes on the Gravedigger. On the other side of the bracket, Carolina Crusher takes on Equalizer. And then Stomper will take on the USA 1 machine. Now up to the line first, Scott Stevens out of Woodlands, Texas. The auto value King Crunch in the far lane taking on John Morse. No Problem Ford Bronco ready to go here in the near lane. Who goes on to semifinals, ladies and gentlemen? Green light goes down. King Crunch got to lead more, trying to come back on him across the line there. And it looked like a dead heat, ladies and gentlemen. Both trucks coming across the finish line at the same time as we get ready to go down to the MTA replay here and take another look at it. But ladies and gentlemen, we're getting word Stevens didn't hit the first set of cars with both front tires. Watch as they go up and over no man's land. Stevens getting a little crossed up, more coming to the line, and they're going to declare John Moore and No Problem the winner here in round one competition. So a little bit of controversy going on down there with the MTA officials. Nonetheless, we move right along with round one, and out of Chesapeake, Virginia, Dennis Anderson and Gravedigger in the far lane. Now ready to take on Johnny K, John Kwasniewski, Buffalo Tremor here in the near lane, who moves on to semifinal competition to meet up with No Problem. Stage now, green light going down now, and looks like they're even. Gravedigger with a slight lead. Johnny K couldn't make up the ground over no man's land. So Dennis Anderson and Gravedigger gets the round one win over the Buffalo Tremor. John Kwasniewski on the trailer for the rest of the evening. Gravedigger finds himself in a matchup against No Problem in the next round. Next up in round one competition, out of Wadesboro, North Carolina, Gary Porter, Carolina Crusher ready to go in that far lane. Now set to take on Greg Holbrook in Equalizer. Staged up now in the near lane. It's a battle of the bow tie here in round one competition. Carolina Crusher and Equalizer. Here's the green light now down the stretch. Equalizer, Holbrook with the lead on him, but Porter comes back on him in the end. Carolina Crusher pulls the trigger over the last set of cars, and it wasn't easy, but Porter does get the win over Greg Holbrook in Equalizer. Let's go up to our MTA replay and take another look. Equalizer had this thing won, but Gary Porter put down the Chevrolet horsepower right there off the line. They were pretty much even, and now Holbrook starts to pull a lead. Watch him go up and over no man's land here, and Porter almost gets himself into trouble by not hitting the car square, but the officials say it was a clean pass. He got just enough of the tire up. He defeats Equalizer in round one. But now to close out round one competition over here in the far lane at Everett Jasmer's camp, Steve Wilkie, the USA 1 Chevrolet in that far lane, now set to take on Starvin Marvin Smith in the Stomper Chevrolet, ready to go here in the near lane battle of the bow tie to close out round one. USA 1 and Stomper. Green light goes down now, and off the line they go. They're even to the first set of cars, and Wilkie gets the job done in the USA 1 Chevrolet over Marvin Smith and the Stomper over here in the near lane. USA 1 finds himself in a matchup against Carolina Crusher in semifinals. Another battle of the bow tie will be taking place in semifinal competition. But ladies and gentlemen, to take a quick break, we want to remind you guys that right here on the MTA YouTube channel, this Thursday night, we close out the close action-packed season of Thunder. So be sure to catch us at this 7 o'clock Eastern time on the MTA YouTube channel. But now, semifinals coming back around. John Moore, No Problem, gets a matchup against Dennis Anderson and Gravedigger over on the other side of the bracket. Gary Porter and Carolina Crusher matches up against Steve Wilkie in the USA 1 Chevrolet. And up at the line first, Anderson had a little bit of problems with the Gravedigger in round one. He is back at the start line. John Moore, No Problem, had a controversial battle against King Crunch in round one. Who's moving on to the finals? Gravedigger and No Problem stage at the line now. Here's the green light. Off the line they go. Anderson with the lead, but Moore's coming back on him, and John Moore and No Problem get the win over the Gravedigger, which undoubtedly had a problem in no man's land. We're getting word that the dry shaft's hanging out from underneath the truck, but John Moore, No Problem, is in the finals. The question remains, who does he meet there? Another battle of the bow tie ready to take place in semifinals. Gary Porter, Carolina Crusher Chevrolet in the far lane. Steve Wilkie, the USA 1 Chevrolet, staged up here in the near lane. A battle of the bow tie. Who's going to meet on No Problem in the finals? Here's the green light now. down the straight stretch they go. They're fairly even, slightly to Wilkie and USA won, but Porter with another come from behind win over no man's land, and it looked like Wilkie got a little crossed up as he hit the first jump and ended up, as you see, over in Carolina Crusher's lane. What a matchup it was, because they were even all the way down the straight stretch to the first jump. Let's go back to our MTA replay and take another look. Even off the line, like we said, watch Wilkie putting the horsepower down. He gets crossed up on the first jump over no man's land and almost tags the Carolina Crusher. Lucky enough he didn't, so that means we've got Carolina Crusher taking on No Problem in the finals. As you see there, Gary Porter in the far lane ready to go. The Chevrolet's running strong. 2 come from behind wins here tonight. However, John Moore, No Problem Ford Bronco in the near lane. He's been strong all night, keeping the truck consistent and the power to the ground. Who takes home the win here tonight on the MTA Motorsport Special? A classic Ford versus Chevrolet in the finals here. Carolina Crusher in the far lane. No Problem ready to go in the near lane. Ladies and gentlemen, it's showtime now. Here's the green light. They're even on the line in the first set of cars. Moore's in trouble, and Carolina Crusher grabbed the win as he tagged Scott Stevens King Crunch in the shutdown area. What a matchup it was down the straight stretch, but it looks like the inside lane started to go away all night long. John Moore and No Problem had nowhere to go as we go back to the replay. Right here off the line, they're fairly even, maybe a slight lead to Carolina Crusher. Watch the first jump. Moore shoots to the inside wall, getting out of shape, and Carolina Crusher stayed straight like an arrow all the way across the finish line until he tagged King Crunch down there. I'm sure Scott Stevens isn't happy about that, but ladies and gentlemen, your winner here tonight, Waynesboro, North Carolina's very own Gary Porter, Carolina Crusher. And ladies and gentlemen, thank you guys for coming out and watching the MTA Motorsports Spectacular here on the MTA YouTube channel. Be sure, if you haven't already, crush that subscribe button, and we'll catch you down the road. See you next time.